Hola, this is Liam in for Bear. Kimi K3 just published a table showing it beats almost every AI model. I asked Claude to actually read the footnotes. Here's what came back: 34 benchmarks, 6 models, 1 table. The headline claim is real, but the fine-grained rankings carry 5 separate credibility problems. Here's the audit. Act 1, the claim. Table 2, Kimi K3 versus Claude Fable 5, GPT-5, 6 Sol Opus 4, 8 GPT-5, 5 and GLM-5, 2, 34 benchmarks covering reasoning, coding, agentic tasks, and tools. The headline: K3 beats all of them except the top 2. Their exact language consistently outperforms other open and proprietary models evaluated in our suite. Strong claim. Let's see if the table supports it. The first hedge is in their own abstract. Its overall performance still trails the most powerful proprietary models, Claude Fable 5 and GPT-5, 6 Sol, so the ceiling is already disclosed. They're telling you where they lose before you find it. Act 2, home field. First problem: every model in Table 2 runs under a different agent harness. K3 runs on Kimi Code, Moonshot's own harness. GPT models run on Codex, Claude models on Claude Code. These are not equivalent scaffolds. A harness is the scaffolding that plans multi-step tasks, writes and executes code, handles retries. The model's score is model times harness. You cannot read one without the other. The paper shows the cross-harness gap. On KCB2, 0 internal benchmark, K3 scores 72, 9 on Kimi Code but 73, 7 on Claude Code, GPT-5, 6 Sol scores only 64, 8 on Codex. These gaps are large and uncontrolled. A 10-point swing from harness choice is plausible on agentic coding benchmarks. The whole table comparison is not a model quality comparison. It's model plus harness versus model plus different harness. The honest version, K3 plus Kimi Code, performs at this level. Whether K3 plus Claude Code or K3 plus a neutral harness matches or exceeds that, this table cannot tell you. Act 3, the footnotes. The 2 models that beat K3, Fable 5 and GPT-5, 6 Sol, are systematically caveated downward. Look at the table headers, with fallback and with cyberguards. On SWE Marathon footnote, Fable 5 hits fallback on 35% of tasks. On Agent's last exam, Fable 5 runs at X high with 40% of tasks annotated as downgraded. These aren't full capability runs. Here's the tell: K3 still loses to these degraded versions, which means the real gap to Fable 5 and GPT-5, 6 Sol at full capability, is larger, not smaller, than the table shows. The footnotes actually invert the usual marketing move. Takeaway: if you're scanning to see how far K3 trails the frontier, the table underreports the gap. The caveats narrow it artificially. Act 4, modified benchmarks. 3 headline coding benchmarks are modified from their public versions. SWE Marathon, an H20 calibrated branch prior to V1, 1 release. Post-train bench, run on H20, not the official H100 config. Frontier SWE, dominance scores recomputed from raw scores. Each modification is individually defensible. Hardware availability is real. Standardization takes time. Collectively, K3's 3 strongest coding results all ride on non-standard variants assembled by the authors. Reproducibility problem: no third party can run the H20 calibrated SWE Marathon branch. These are results on a benchmark only Moonshot's lab can run. That's not malfeasance, it's just not independently checkable. Act 5, no error bars. Table 2 reports single-point estimates, 0 confidence intervals, 0 standard deviations, no seed counts on most rows, 1 number per benchmark per model. GPQA Diamond, GPT-5, 6 Sol 94, 1 K393, 5 GPT-5, 593, 5 Fable 592, 6, a 1 5-point cluster, at typical sampling variance of plus or minus 0, 5 to 1, 0 on these tests. Every position is interchangeable. The prose says K3 is just 0, 2 points behind and essentially tied. Without error bars, 0, 2 points is not a ranking, it's a number with no interpretable meaning. Act 6, the signal worth trusting. 3 independent evaluators, artificial analysis, number 4 of 580 models, a low 1,547. Val's AI, number 2 of 39 in the frontier tier. LM Arena Web Dev Arena, number 1 open model, first open model ever to top it. These are run without Moonshot's harness, different methodologies, no shared test setup. All 3 land K3 at or near the top of the open field, clearly above Opus 4, 8 and GPT-5, 5. Simon Willison, an independent developer, published his own tests. his framing mostly beating Opus 4, 8 and GPT-5, 5 while losing to Fable 5 and GPT-5, 6 Sol, that's the defensible landing zone, not the table 2 decimals. The narrow defensible claim, best open-weight model as of July 2026, competitive with second-tier proprietary models, clearly behind the top two. Every independent evaluator supports this. The fine-grained table 2 wins do not. Kimi K3 is real, the best open model in the world right now, and that's corroborated by 3 independent evaluators who ran it without moonshot scaffolding. But the specific Table 2 rankings carry home harness advantage, systematically degraded competitors, author-modified benchmarks, and no error bars. Trust the course direction. Treat every decimal in Table 2 as noise. Your turn, pick a task where you know the right answer, not a benchmark, a real problem. Run it on K3 and on Opus 4, 8 back-to-back. Same prompt, same context. You're doing what this paper couldn't. One fixed test, no harness asymmetry, no footnotes. Who's actually winning?